How is it going, Dank Division? Dank Dan here, and we have quite a few things to discuss, but we're going to open up tonight on the Attack on Titans bundle. Now we're going to pretty much dive into everything ranging from the skin to the weapons. Is it even worth it? I'll let you guys decide because this bundle is worth 2,400 COD points in US dollars. That is $20. So let's first start off with, of course, the skin. Now, a lot of people have already had issues with the skin, saying this looks nothing like the original character, and let's face it, we've all heard of Dragon Ball Evolution. We all kind of figured it wasn't going to look exactly the same, but let's be honest, the uniform does fit the World War II aesthetic, and aside from the hair, which, let's face it, you're playing the game, you're never going to see your face while playing unless you're doing a finishing move. There's no reason to really complain about this skin whatsoever. The next thing is, let's talk about the weapons. So, the assault rifle, the Humidier, oh god, I'm gonna butcher that pronunciation. But let's put it this way, this thing's a Volk, and the attachments it gives you off the start are not a bad place to start for a loadout. Because this thing pretty much gives you minimal horizontal recoil with a slight vertical recoil, meaning if you know how to control this thing, you could pretty much land a bunch of long shots, toy with a couple of attachments here, especially if you throw on Gung Ho, you can actually fire this thing while sprinting, making it a very feasible weapon. Moving right into the Historia, I mean, let's face it, the finish looks pretty beautiful. The fact that they pretty much hand you attachments that make this a deadly force to be reckoned with. And again, gung-ho never hurts. So being perfectly honest, the guns, definitely worth it. Now, here's the thing that I do question. The Titan Piercer, the sword. Boy oh boy do I wish that that thing actually had a functioning gun. But hey, let's admit it, the sword does look really cool, although not a lot of people are really using the katana as of right now in Vanguard or in Warzone for that matter. Now, the operator finishing move, let's admit it, that honestly looks pretty damn cool. Yes, it's from an anime, yes, a lot of people are complaining, but as someone who actually watches anime, to see something that's not a uwu piece of senpai shit, I'm happy with this. You also have, I mean, the highlight intro isn't too bad. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it's definitely something intriguing. And of course, the Ultra Hard Steel MVP highlight. I mean, it's nothing too crazy, although it kind of looks like they didn't load that in quite yet. And I mean, you have the Epic Charm, you have the Insignia, you have all this cool stuff that you can throw in there. And that's all for 2,400 COD points. But more importantly, why don't we dive in to the patch notes? So while we're on the subject of Vanguard, why don't we start off with Call of Duty Vanguard patch notes. So there are a couple of bugs that they did fix, starting with multiplayer. So one of the major ones, and I didn't even know this was going to end up being a thing, is that now long shots will count when achieved through incendiary rounds damage over time. Meaning, if you shoot someone long range and you do that little bit of damage afterwards and they die, that counts as a long shot for you. Now, another one that they're going to be doing, when previewing the well gun after unlocking challenges in multiplayer, the well gun is no longer missing challenge details. That means if you do something and it doesn't show up, it now will. They also corrected an unintended behavior with the Buck and Slug, which resulted in players getting headshot bonuses when, I don't know, shooting limbs. Now, something that they did change is that the Fortified perk is no longer going to be immune to any fire damage. This includes the Flame Knot and incendiary grenades. They also fixed an issue where some players would not retain their kill streaks in between rounds. You also have it that users can no longer gain infinite ammo when a kill streak bug is being, exploited. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, there was a little bit of weapon balancing, and by that I mean all of those of you who have been running the akimbo shotguns, or as I like to call them, the dual-wielding dildos. Yeah, they kind of took the damage and bent it over and just fucked it into the ground. So be ready for that, because that's going to be a problem for you. They also had it that for one of the attachments, the Buck and Slug across the board has had its range reduced ever so slightly. There's also been some adjustments to the CDL recipes. So let's start with this. So the match start timer is now going to be 30 seconds. They've also removed FMJ from the restricted list. You also have it that the respawn delay timer is now set to 3.5 seconds. The suicide respawn delay timer is now set to 4.5 seconds. They've added incendiary grenades to the restricted list, so no more running that bullshit. They've added the bombing run to the restricted list. All kill streaks except the artillery strike and cruise missile are restricted and not able to be used while in ranked matches. Now, they did toy with only two things in zombies. The first of which was an issue in regards to the artifacts. They pretty much fixed an issue that could occasionally prevent the player's artifact from working properly after using a self-res. They also addressed an issue where support weapons could provide infinite ammo. Yeah, that was a nice thing while it lasted, but they kind of fixed it. So now that we've gotten the Vanguard patch notes out of the way, why don't we dive all the way over to the patch notes for Call of Duty Warzone. So, once again, they fixed more collision issues with various elements across Caldera, allowing players to exploit, peek, shoot, the other bullshit. They also fixed an issue, and this specifically affected anyone who, is prone to seizures. Fixed an issue causing the menu screen to flicker like fucking crazy when attempting to join a friend or queue with the party. They also fixed an issue with reload animations, allowing certain weapons to fire continuously. They also happened to fix an issue causing private lobby hosts to crash. They also fixed an issue causing the regular advanced UAV rewards from big game bounty and top secret contracts to not trigger if the player was in a vehicle or in an AA gun. Now, I have a feeling that they buffed this, given that we have the Attack on Titans bundle with the katana. The katana's damage has been increased from 135 to 150. The standing charge range increased by 36.5%. The crouching charge range increased by 17%. And the movement speed has been decreased ever so slightly. So, some of you might be wondering, okay, is that the end of the video? Well, not quite, because we have our first taste of things that are to be coming in Season 2. Now, as part of the Season 2 delay, we are now aware of the fact that CDL team skins are going to be on their way. Now, as of right now, when these teams compete, they're not going to have their official uniforms and weapons for the first couple of matches. Instead, the CDL teams are going to be able to compete in pretty much a clean operator skin, and the user interface and X-ray outline will still, show the team color. But more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, ranked play is planned to roll out alongside the new Vanguard content in February, where we're going to finally have ranked. Or as I like to call it, let's play normal matches and actually see where we're ranked, instead of just having skill-based matchmaking throw us into a match and not give us a goddamn clue of what the hell is going on. Now, also consider this. This Friday, so this coming Friday, January 21st, will be the Kickoff Classic live, pretty much for you to watch on YouTube. So don't forget to follow that link on youtube.com/COD League. If you watch that, odds are you'll walk away with a couple of XP tokens, maybe a couple of goodies here and there, and overall, some intriguing stuff. Now, this last thing is something that I'd like to discuss in the comments section after the video is over, and I want to hear all your thoughts on this. There's words through the grapevine that, let's put it this way. I'll read this one verbatim. High-level employees at Activision have discussed moving away from the annual release schedule, according to two people familiar with the discussions. Although nothing has been finalized yet. There's a belief among many Call of Duty developers that releasing games at a slower cadence will please players and help bolster the franchise, particularly after the weak launch of last year's Call of Duty Vanguard, which saw a 36% decline from 2020's entry in UK sale charts. This shift may not happen until next year, or hell, it might happen later, as this year's Call of Duty is expected to redeem the franchise's fortunes. Now, slowing down the Call of Duty release schedule may lighten developers' intense, and I mean intense, workloads, and could provide new opportunities for Activision's game makers to work on their titles. The Blizzard division could also benefit, culturally and strategically from the acquisition of, Xbox having them, and maybe just laying back a little bit. But I want to see that comment section down below. What are your thoughts on if COD were to not release every single year? If they did something like what Assassin's Creed does every other year, where they keep the content going the whole time around and actually work on, have it that there's breaks in between seasons. There's actual time where they're working more towards fixing the game and then adding content, not feeling like they're constantly adding content. So, if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Drop a comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts on pretty much everything we got today, including the news and potential talk of COD having a delay. That there's no more annual releases and they do it, let's say, every other year. And with that being said, you guys have a wonderful day, night, whatever you're doing, do it wholeheartedly. And of course, as always, this is Dank Dan, signing off.
Get them to hit that subscribe button, Dank. It's the only way we can figure out the numbers.
15.
What do the numbers mean, Dank? We're wasting valuable time.